to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Listen, if you don't know, you about to find out. And if you do know, you hype right now. Tokischa is on the program.
Yeah.
What's up, kid?
Still sleeping.
Really? You was out last night, huh?
No, last night I stayed. I was like, I have to rest tonight because tomorrow is a long day.
Well, that's good. You're more responsible than the image of Tokischa.
Oh, no, that was last night. The previous night, I was not. The previous one, I was not. I've been missing flights, arriving late because party here in New York is lit. Yeah. It's my first time like being out in the street here in New York, and I've had a lot of fun.
You know about Hot 97 when you was growing up?
Yeah.
What did you think of Hot 97 when you were growing up?
Not growing up, after right now, like these days. Because growing up, I grew up in the R.
Right.
In the hood, so we didn't have Hot 97 there. We had Mortal 104.9, which is kind of the same vibe.
Shout to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What town are you from in DR?
Los Frailes. It's a little hood in the city.
Got it. In the capital?
Yeah.
Got it.
And is there anything like going on there? Was there any opportunity for you? What did you do, when you were young?
My mom always told me to learn English, and I was just studying English my entire childhood, learning by myself and taking some classes too. And then I got a job when I was 18, and I was out.
Out of here.
When I got my first payment, my dad was like, you have to help with the food, you have to help with this and that. And like, bro, I'm out of here. I've been working my ass off. I got my first payment. I'm out. So I left and decided
And where'd you go?
Yeah, where'd you go?
I went to, there's always this aunt that left the country and has her home alone. Yeah. So she needs somebody to be there in the house to take care of it and, to be safe, to make the house safe. I did that, but I didn't want to pay nothing. She wanted me to pay electricity. I'm like, what? I'm taking care of your house. You want me to pay electricity? I'm out. Again.
When you left that too? Wait, no, but you was there using the electricity. You got to pay the bill.
Listen, Tokischa's
I was
out.
not into that. So I moved in with a brother, and then we was paying rent together. I felt good there. I was like, all right, we can do this. I can pay a little something here.
So you wasn't out with that.
I wasn't. Nah. And then I just kept running around. I did run around almost like my entire life. Then I was to a point where I was like basically homeless because I didn't want to work anymore.
What was the job, by the way? What were you doing for work?
Call center.
Call center. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, was it call center in Spanish?
Nah, in English.
Oh, so that
nice.
sharpened your English.
Yeah.
That's
where it got good. And like interacting with other people that speak English and talking to the gringos on the phone.
Wait, hold on. What was the call center? What were you answering questions about?
My first call center was FedEx. I used to be answering the phone in DR for people here in the States that was like, where's my package? And me, high as fuck, taking these calls, the people talking to me about 5th, 7th, 8th Street, zip code, this and that. I'm like, what? Because in the streets are different. The streets are like Calle Duarte, Casa Número 5. We don't do all that, like zip code and like 5th Street and all this. And it was fun. Then I just didn't want to do it anymore because I wanted to pursue my art, and also I was in drugs. Nobody in drugs wants to work.
Wait, so I want to talk about your art too, because I'm glad you used that word, right? Because whether it's the way you dress or the way you express yourself through your music, there is a lot of artistic world that you're creating in your music. And did you always know that art was your thing?
Yeah, since
like trying to create, right? Like when did that start for you?
Since a little kid, I was like always doing these dances, like choreography to every song. drawing, writing. I had this image always in my mind of being an artist, you know. And in school, you know, they always ask you what you want to do. Like when you go to college, what's your career? I will always say I'm gonna do art. I'm gonna be an artist. I'm gonna do modeling, performing, dancing, acting. Teachers was like, yo, you really need to get a career because you're gonna get old. That's not gonna get you anywhere. I'm like, I know I'm gonna make it, Miss Teacher. I know. So I just always wanted to do that, you know, and I did acting, I did dancing, I did a lot of things to feed that, to learn, to be around that environment.
You was committed to learning.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
And to learn performing in general.
Yeah, I would perform by myself all the time when I was home alone as a little kid. Do the dances, go to the bathroom. I would lock myself in the bathroom and start acting in the mirror, crying, and like doing this show in my head and for myself just to see how good I could be at it. And just like that, learning until I went away from my home, from my dad's house, and I started to interact with that community, the artistic community, the people that was doing art. That's when I met my actual manager and creative director, Raimi, because I was looking for that. I went out of the hood. I was like out because I wanted to go like into the future, to that future that I had in my head, to just not be creating it, but like actually working on it.
And so when did you learn, when did you discover that rap, like spitting the way you spit? Like I was telling you before we started the interview, like I could tell your rapping abilities, like you're destroying a lot of dudes on records. Like, and I don't speak, my Spanish is not, I won't even say it's not good. It's
not.
bad. But I can tell by the way you're melodically carrying the record and where you're rhyming in the pocket, like you know that you're good at this rap shit. And when did you find rap as an outlet?
I started doing music, like professionally, going to a studio when I met Raimi. He took me to the studio, and we had this producer, and we had this rapper, this Paul Cracker, that's his name, that was there to teach me, to actually guide me into it, you know, because I was very new to it. I was just learning. And I learned with him this about rhymes, about composition, about how do I start doing this verse. And I end up like developing the idea of the verse and not jumping from here to there. So it was like a little school
like a
to
boot
me.
camp
Yeah.
almost.
And I had these producers that worked with me at the beginning that will teach me like, oh, you have to, your tone, you have to find that tone. So we really worked on that. And it was the moment, it was a special moment when I finally got my voice tone. It was like, that's the one, that's the one. And then how to actually sing from my chest or sing with the strength of my stomach. So it's like I've been learning about it, and the moment that I realized that I got good at it was when I did this set with DJ Scoff. That was my first set rapping. That was my introducing myself to rap, and it went viral. It went good. I just dropped there a lot of verses that I had, and I got the rap respect because of that.
So you're very sexually free. You're very non-apologetic about who you are. And I'm curious, you've always been like that, because I remember my girlfriends are Dominican to be like, this girl's gonna be the next, and showed me clips of you like fucking around in DR and, you know, freestyling and all that. But how did Dominican Republic embrace you? Because they're extremely conservative. How did Dominican Republic, you know, take your art?
I mean, At the beginning, when I first dropped, before I did music, I had this Instagram where I used to post a lot of erotic content all the time because nobody knew me yet. So I had this little fan base of just pictures of me. I used to call this Instagram Caco Tigre because I had this crazy haircut, like pelao, everything like here and just a little hair in the middle.
Like a mohawk.
Not like
A
a
reverse
mohawk,
mohawk.
like the Miley Cyrus Rebel haircut. The blonde one, that one, I had it. And I had this little fan base all the time of people that was waiting for me to drop some pictures because I used to get very creative and like do a lot of photo shoots all the time. Really hot shit. I don't do it anymore because they started to take my Instagram down because of that.
I mean, you can't be showing your nipples and boobs.
No,
right? Be
no more.
snatching
But
them.
at the beginning, you was able to do it. And I had this little community. My family was like, oh no, fuck is wrong with you, girl? And I used to post myself smoking when I used to smoke all the time. So it was like really open. I was really open about everything that I was doing. Mm-hmm. And I had that. When I first dropped my first song, more people came in. And then the second song, the system figured, like the system knew who I was. And they was like, oh no, this is
The
wrong.
algorithm
This
came for
girl.
you, yeah.
This girl, no. My second song was in the news in DR because I was talking about drugs. Because when I started to do music, I was so into drugs that all my music was like drugs. So my second song with Químico Ultra Mega came up in the news. Like, what the fuck is this girl? Who the fuck is she? Why is she talking about drugs here so openly? So then we had to take down that song. And then we just kept doing music until I did my first dembow, which is the Sacato Colar. And then is what the entire country was like, oh no, something's wrong with this girl.
Right.
But that's the system, not the hood. The hood always been loving me and accepting me and encouraging me and you know, been very, very lovely to me. Well, with this song, the education system was offended because the song talks about how I used to be in school, how I used to be kissing, escaping school to smoke, and all of that, you know, that we all do in school.
But they didn't want you talking about it.
Huh?
They didn't want you to talk about it.
Exactly.
They try to hide it.
Yeah, so they got mad. But that's fine because that madness really spreaded my name in entire country and outside too. And that's when my career started to take off. Then I did a picture praying in front of a virgin spot that they have for praying. But I did the picture, I was dressed up how I always just dress up, like a hoe, you know? So it went like, now the church is offended because this
But you knew you was offending or going offending people.
No.
You didn't?
No, because my idea with this picture was like, hoes always pray. Hoes pray too. You know, like I'm a hoe, I'm a prostitute, I'm from the street, but at the end of the day, I go get on my knees and pray for my family to be able to tomorrow go out and get some money to feed my kids or my family and whatever. But they took it the wrong way.
Got it.
So that's how I feel. Everything I do, I take it the wrong way. I'm just expressing myself. I'm just telling it how it is.
Well, I think, look, even in America, I mean, obviously DR is more conservative, just like a lot of Caribbean nations and are more conservative than the United States. But it exists here in the United States too, where people would be highly offended by, you know, raunchy sexuality, you know, that sort of picture where somebody's dressed up as a hoe, but they're praying. Like, that's going to be offensive to people.
Remember the sex prank in church that got Opie and Anthony kicked off the radio?
Oh, that got guys kicked off the radio here in America.
Sex in church?
They had like
people are very sensitive about that.
when you start playing with religion in a way that you're not supposed to. When I hear you say what you're saying,
makes sense.
It sounds like you're speaking on behalf or creating art on behalf of people who you know you're representing for. But most people, even me included, when I went to and learned about you and I see, you know, you know, you having sex with somebody hitting it from the back and you're promoting your OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? Or you're just like, you know, your boobs out or you're tongue kissing a girl. The imagery takes me down a path of like, okay, she's raunchy sex. Sitting here talking to you, you're very aware of how you're trying to create a conversation around these freedoms of expression and inclusivity and kind of like representing on behalf of people that are just trying to make it through the next day, right?
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes just gets lost because obviously people haven't heard you talk maybe enough in interviews.
And my OnlyFans, now that you mentioned that, before I did OnlyFans, I was, because I stopped working, you know, I was very crazy. I had this crazy life. And then I started to be a sugar baby. So by that time, sugar babies, when you got this old gringo man paying for your shit and you're with him for his money.
Right. You were physically with someone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had 3 of those. I had the first one, then I had the second one, then the third one. I stayed with him for like 3 years. And it was a very crazy relationship, you know. It's an actual job, like you might call it. And there's a difference between being a prostitute and being a sugar baby, because when you're a sugar baby, you have this one man that you're committed to pleasure him, and he's committed to pay for all your stuff. When you're a prostitute, you can have one man, another man, another man, another man. So that's the difference. When I got to stop being with him was when I started to do OnlyFans, that it was paying for my career as he was paying before, you know. And I just figured, like, I don't have to be with anybody. You know, I can just post these videos and I get my money, you know? So it was like a moment of freedom for me too, because as well,
Now
I
you're in
like
control.
to do that type of content. Like that's something that I find really, really, that I really like. So I still do it. Well, I still need the money, of course, but I enjoy doing it. You myself, you have this career, you can't stop doing it. But I have this fan base on OnlyFans too, that it's like they're part of me. You know, they're my fans too. So I have this different stuff that I do.
Is there a point? Could there be a point in time where if your music career becomes so successful and you become so popular and have a lot of press obligations and endorsements, things like that, that you would say, hey, I'm not going to do the OnlyFans anymore?
No, because that press and that pressure will also lead, if I leave this press and pressure stop me from doing anything, it could stop me from doing other things too. So
Right.
I will never allow that. If I ever stop doing OnlyFans, I have no idea what will be maybe I'm not cute no more. I'm not cute no more. I'm just gonna stop doing it. That's not gonna happen.
So using sexuality to make money, that hustle, right? The hustle of that and deciding to do that's what you want to do. When did that become a part of your life? Was that a survival thing where you were like, yo, I got to make money, and I know the way to make money is by people seeing my body or by me being a sugar baby? Was that just...
Or did you just like doing it?
Or did you just like it?
I was in the hood, you know, and I had this friend that it was a gay man that he was doing that. He was a sugar baby. And he saw me struggling, like you have to work, and we were going through, because we were going through all this stuff together, like we have to leave the home because some crazy shit happened. You know, in the hood, there's always some problem. Somebody just shot somebody and you gotta run away, like, because that's your cousin. And then they'll be like, oh, that's his cousin, like, go get her. You know, it's always running around. So he was like, you should just open a Craigslist profile and find you a sugar daddy there. There was this page, it was called Craigslist. Mm-hmm. And all these old men that was going on vacation to the DR will post rich old men going to the DR on vacation, looking for a company girl to spend the vacation stuff. I have good money for you. So I started to pick up those ads and like sending my pictures and like interacting with this man.
And would you meet up with people when they came in? Would you do it?
Yeah, I met the first one I met. Do you remember when Rihanna dropped the Fenty Puma? I was like, oh man, you gotta get me that. You gotta send me money to do my hair. You gotta pay my taxi. You gotta bring me this and that. And that's the first one I met. And coming like from having nothing and have this man come from another part of the world to get you this Fenty Puma that I was gonna never find in the yard because that never gets there. And to get me this cash, to get me to pay for my stuff was like a relief to me. I was really excited. I was like, I fuck for free all the time. Like, why can't I do it for the money?
Right.
So I did it with him just once. I got all this, and I'm like, oh wait, this is paying off. Like, I could do this. Then I got the second one. His dick wouldn't get hard because he was too old. So he just wanted me to bring a girlfriend and just kiss with her and play with her like, this easy. I do this all the time for free. But then when I got the third one, that I really got to be in the relationship with him, that was the difficult part because he was all up in my ass all the time, and always calling me and always, where you at, who you with, I'm going to the yard to see you, and I will have to stop my life just to be with him 2 or 3 days in a hotel room. It was really, at that point, my life was really depressing because I had to be with this man that I don't like, but I was in love with this guy from the hood that's a drug addict. So it's like I was always like thinking of him and like being with this man, and sometimes after fucking with this man, I will just lock myself in the bathroom, like wash off and cry, because that's like the phase of it, that's the dark part of it, when you have to do it so much.
Right.
And when this person is like up in your ass. So yeah, after all, and this man was like also a meth addict. So he was always delusional, always like, oh, you were somebody, let me see where you at, show me a video and this and that. And I was just starting my career. I will tell him, I want to do this career, so you have to help me. You have to send me money for that. He was like, that's not going anywhere because what you're doing is not really art. He will always find this way to put me down. And it will make me depressed, but I was like, all right, send me the money. I'll do whatever I have to do. And I did it. He really helped me to invest like the beginning of my career, to shoot my first video, my second video, to get all these looks. I will always tell him like, oh, yo, you have to buy this for me and bring it here to the yard because there's no way that I can get it here, because I was always looking for great looks. In the yard, we don't have that much fashion. So yeah.
How long did that last? So with that guy, how long did that last?
It was like from like 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 2017 to 2020. Also, something that I will always have, like, that was a moment that was really important for me, was like, I was all the time running around from house to house, and I didn't have a home of my own. I had this friend that would let me sleep in the couch, or I have a little mattress on the floor, to crash out.
Yeah.
And then when I met this sugar daddy, he gave me all the deposits to move into an apartment by myself. And I started to pick up all my clothes that was all around with my friends, with my aunt, with my madrina, everybody. And when I saw all my shit together in one place, that was such a special moment for me. I was crying. I was like, oh my God, I have all my shit together right now. I hope I never have to run around again, because this is very nice.
Wow.
I did see a clip, and I don't know if it was an interview with Scuff, too. It went viral, but it was about you actually talking about trying to rent an apartment. And like the woman, when she realized it was you, like completely was discriminating against you and would not rent to you.
Yeah.
Like, how often did that happen to you once you started being popular?
That was this interview with Alofoque, and that was like last year.
Yeah.
I was looking for a home to move in, a bigger house, because I was living in a little apartment. And this house that I found was really cute. I really liked it. And when this lady figured it was me, she was a Christian, I think. She was like, oh no, she can't move in my house. Like, no way. Find her another home, and then I'll rent my house to somebody else. And at that moment, I was in my little apartment. I had all my stuff packed already, and I was like, all right, finally moving and this and that. When she told me that, I was so sad that she broke my heart. I was crying. I cried a lot that day. I was like, why? Like, what? I don't even do parties in my home. My home is the quiet space ever. I don't even invite people to my house. It was really shocking because I really wanted to move. But I found a better house later, bigger apartment with better view, with more light. So it was for the better.
So the story of a young girl from DR who's raised in the hood and who's clearly creative and wanted to express herself through art, but sounds like you didn't have the support of mom and dad. They weren't really supportive of you or didn't have the means to support you making music, acting, dancing, like all these interests that you have. So they're likely trying to push you in the direction of what they think is the right thing. And you're like, yo, no, I'm moving out. I'm 18 years old. I'm going to go do my own thing. Mm-hmm. And you go on this journey of being a sugar baby and drugs and finding how your creative outlets, and now you're here, right? Do you think that all of that has been framed for people to understand who really, because like me hearing the story right now and us having this convo, like this is not only is it an amazing story, it's also a story of a lot of young people, right, who don't necessarily fit in to the little boxes that families put around kids. Like, you need to do this and you need to do that, and your interests were elsewhere. And it was hard for you to focus on what your family wanted because your passion and your emotion is tied to creating, right? Do you think people understand that about Tokischa? Do even your fans, do they know all of this?
I think they know because I've been very open about it since the first day. And like, I've been telling my stories and my songs and my interviews all around. So they know. And about my parents, my mom was always here in the United States, working her ass off, to send money to the yard for me to have food, clothes, education, and all that. She was always like telling me that I should have this better life. All the things that she couldn't have, she was always telling me, like, learn English, get a job, be independent. If you want to be an artist, do it. But it's not the same. In DR, everybody's like, you have to go to college, you have to do this, you have to do that. And
everybody got to follow the same path.
Yeah, being a rebel too, like escaping out of school, like doing all these things. They always tried to like trap me, to have me locked because they knew I was really wild. So my mom will send me a lot of books to read, will send me a lot of fashion magazines, will send me a lot of stuff, to feed that into me. My dad is a tigre from the hood, like the street. My dad was in jail, and then when he came out, I started to live with him. But it was like he works a lot, to put the food on the table. But he's not like this. He's not like this man that will, he actually allowed me to go to dance school. But when he was like, oh, you're escaping dancing to go to fuck, okay, you're not going out anymore.
Not here.
Not here.
You understand his point?
I know, yeah.
That's fair.
Now I get it. But, like, they tried, They tried. But it's not like they had this vision with me.
So, only because I'm a dad, right? So here goes my interest. What could your parents have done? Did they just need to let you go through everything you went through to get to this point? What could your dad have done? What could, right? And not because you were doing something wrong per se, but it felt like you needed this journey for yourself in some ways, right?
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't change anything, And I don't know.
But they were scared for you too, I'm sure, right? Like, when
there's danger.
your little girl's doing drugs and out here, fucking and wilding, like you're
worried.
worried.
Not scared at all. I'd be scared right now to be doing all that I did back then. But I was not scared.
But when
I was
we're young, our brains aren't fully
Yeah,
formed, so
you're
we're not
like-
afraid of shit.
You're wild. I was wild when you. I wouldn't do all of that again, but I wouldn't change it either. And I respect all that I went through because all of that gave me like this strength and taught me like, well, you have to be better for yourself. You have to you can't be doing this all your life. You know, I got to that point where I was like, what am I doing? And I moved from the city because when I got my first apartment, it was in an environment of in an artistic environment, but at the same time, it was like this whole drug all around because this is the city, this place, the colonial zone, La Zona Colonial. All the bars are there, so it's like party from all the days in the week. If you think there's no bar on Tuesday or Wednesday, there's one bar on that corner that specifically opens on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I was running all around that, going to the bars, going to the parties, doing all these things. And at one point I was like, I need to get out of here. So I moved to the mountains, to the campo, to actually think, because sometimes we don't think. We do not think. Like, life goes so fast and you don't think. We basically don't sit down to think, just to think. So I went there, nature, with the trees, the birds, the water, the river, all this calm, to really listen and think, to figure out what am I doing, what I want to do. So I went there. It was like a rehab for me. And I just started to realize how important it is to have my mind down to earth, to not be high all the time, smoking, drinking, doing all these drugs that will always just like put my mind into something that was not productive. So I just started to write, to read, to learn, to meditate, to pray, to like get into this spiritual vibe too, to really get out of all that, because I had a lot of frustration from my childhood, because my childhood, I was like into this really aggressive environment, like punching, like pulling hair, like all these things.
You fought a lot.
Yeah, I fought a lot. And also at home, you was fighting and then will beat me up because I was fighting. And then the next day I'm like, oh, they beat me up home because of you. I fuck you up again. So like, it's like this crazy repetitive thing. Also in the hood, there is this verbal abusive thing where they will call you a lot of stuff in your house. Like, oh, mamá esto, mamá aquello, muchacha de esto, de
What's
esto,
that
de lo
mean?
otro.
He's very Dominican. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like son of or a daughter of
Yeah.
Like what, like slut and
just
hoe and all of
derogatory
this?
Yeah.
shit.
Your parents is talking to you like this.
My family, because I had a lot of different families.
Got it.
But my family from my dad's side, like my aunt, I used to live with this aunt for a long time. She was very abusive. She was very aggressive. And like verbally and physical. She was very abusive. I learned a lot from her. I learned a lot of like independence. She would tell me, you have to be independent. If you get a job, just move by yourself and learn how to live life by yourself. I learned a lot with her, but she was really hard on me. And like all these things, I was so frustrated that I did. When I left my dad's house, I was like, I'm never doing dishes again. I'm not doing this, because they always, like, in home, they'd be like, you have to do the dishes, you have to do this. And I was frustrated. I don't want to do dishes. The fuck I look like? And then it's a responsibility, As a little kid, we don't see it like that. We see like, oh, why don't you do the dishes? But you have to learn how to do dishes,
Well,
because
and you
one
just
day
ate,
you're gonna.
You just ate on these dishes, fam.
Yeah.
You can't clean some goddamn dishes.
Yeah.
We made the food. You can't
And then
clean
I
the dish.
realized, why am I frustrated for that? Like, that's stupid. Like, all right, they abused me, but I'm not there anymore. I don't have to follow off that pattern, because I
right.
was being aggressive with my boyfriends, with my friends, with everybody. I used to beat up my boyfriend, like break his nose and everything. I used to be really aggressive with girls around him and all that. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I need to cut that path. So I did. I started to just like clean myself, clean my mind, my body, and think like, I can't be different. I can't be this calm person, you know. I started this career. This is my life. This is what I have to do. This is and learning the meaning of everything and thinking like, I don't want to have this career and then die one day of an overdose. That's not the message that I want, you know?
Okay, I got to ask you about something that happened in the public, in the news. What was the story with the J Balvin video, and what happened, first of all, and what was your intent with the video?
Okay, so this song, I had this idea of creating this perra world where we are all dogs, because you're a bad bitch. You know, when you're a bad bitch, it's not because you're fucking good. It's because you're a bad bitch. It's the attitude that you have of being a bad bitch. You're being a boss bitch, you know? So to me, in Spanish, like perra is the same. When they tell you, oh, that look, you look very perra, you know? You did that, you're very perra. So it's like this dog world. And like I did this song and I sent it to Balvin. He really liked it. He was really into it. And then we did the video. We took like some time, like really thinking about this video. Raimi was working on it. And we created this perra world where we are all dogs. And we was just creating, you know, we were just vibing. We were just doing art. And it was not like to offend anybody. It was more like, this is actually the world. So yeah, people was really offended by it. And
Well, I think it's because J Balvin appears to be a white man. Like the way he looks like a white man. But he had two girls on leashes who are, you know, darker complected women, black women. And that's the piece that people sent around. They didn't watch. So I saw the whole video the first time, and it was all the women was dogs in the video.
Right.
The clip that was sent around was specifically the J Balvin clip, which then people didn't even know it was Tokischa's song.
They just thought it was J
They thought it was
Balvin
J
walking girls
Balvin
on leashes.
walking black women on leashes. So, you know, the internet, they take the scene they want, send it around, and now J Balvin, why is he walking black women around on leashes?
yeah, it was a complete world that we had in there.
It's supposed to be a bad bitch, literally.
Yeah.
Bitch world.
And
When I think people forget that bitch, the word,
It's
the
dog.
literal word is female. I mean, it's from dog breeders and female dogs specifically.
yeah. But
Who made the
know,
call to pull the video down? Did you want to do
did.
that?
I didn't. They
Who's
took
they?
it down.
Balvin's people?
Yeah. Well, Tokischa, as you could tell, don't give a
I
fuck.
will never take anything down or back.
Look at her. She like, yo. But do you understand why people were offended?
Yeah, I understand. And it's like my entire career. They are taking like the wrong side of it, you know? We're just expressing, you know, we're just creating art. And it's like,
Throughout hip hop, there's always been mainstream of some sort not wanting to hear the voices and the creativity of the people coming from the hood, coming from the low income. Like we see it time and time again, where people who come from the bad part of town or, you know, the unsavory street, you know, the drug dealers, the this, the that, all of the bad, and they make art and create and tell their story, the world that they're living in and the experiences that they have and what they're creating through. It gets to the mainstream, and the mainstream's always like, what the fuck is this? Right? Why are you saying this? Turn this off. Take this down. We don't want to hear that, right? Because people, and I think this is, I mean, now I've kind of traveled around the world. It seems pretty universal. All cultures like to create this facade that their communities are perfect. Right? Like we don't have problems. All of the mental health folks, all of the homeless, keep them over there. Like we don't want, let's not acknowledge that. Let's not allow them space to share, right? To express, to create. Because when they do create, it contradicts the image that we're trying to market to the world about who we are, right? And so it's great to hear you talk, right? Because your experience and your desire to create and put things in the face of people so that they can see your world and the way you see things and your experiences. And while they may not like it, I appreciate the fact that you still are like, nah, you gonna hear me, you gonna see me, and I'm gonna do it my way, and I'm gonna be free about it too, and I'm gonna embrace other individuals who are like me.
Yeah.
So I think that's dope. Proud of you, man. That's dope.
Fast
And you
forward.
can spit. And, I mean, real talk, whether you speak English, whatever you speak out here, if you don't speak Spanish, you listen to this girl on a record, you hear what's going on. Like, so, regardless of all of the other things, you're great at rapping. And that is something that we up here love to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Fast forward, just before we wrap, I saw Madonna bringing you out.
Oh, you out here tongue kissing the icon?
Then I see
Yo, you put your whole tongue in that woman's mouth.
numerous times.
Wow, really?
Then I see her front row Fashion Week and casually Madonna turning around, enamored by her and tonguing her down. But the best part for me was you were shooting a video somewhere uptown. She had Madonna, I think it was Washington Heights, twerking in the middle of the street with the whole hood out. Please tell me how that relationship came to be.
It was for Pride. She invited me to her show in New York, and we was like, all right, so let's do something together for the show. So I did this hung up remix on Dembow, and I got to the studio with her, and we organized the idea, and we gave it like body to the idea. And I don't know, as soon as we met,
You was like, I'm gonna pull this joint. This gonna be my mama right here. This gonna be my
as soon
Sugar
as we
mama.
met,
sugar mama.
no,
no
not
sugar
sugar
mama.
mama.
Okay,
no.
okay.
As soon as we met, like, because it's Madonna, it's somebody that's been expressing herself her entire life, not caring, and like that's actually what I do too. So it's like we met and it was instant, like we connected right away, and we were like, doing this together and rehearsing for the show and talking all the time. So we got really close, and
Who made the first move?
both. We were in the mic recording, and all of a sudden we was kissing already. And it's like, it's so natural for both of us. Like, we just kiss, just like talking, And it's not something that is like, oh, we are so sexual about, It's like more like a vibe, It's nice.
So are
Totally.
y'all not a couple? Y'all not in a relationship?
No, we are friends
Got it. With benefits.
with kissing.
Just kissing. It's
Just- oh, so
it's
just
kissing. It's kissing in public is what it is. It's not like
Because,
So you're not calling Madonna like, yo, I'm pulling up tonight, ma, I need to see you.
I should.
Yo, ma, I need to see you. Yo, I was thinking about that kiss. Yo, we need
how's Madonna's breath? She has good breath?
Yeah.
She smells good.
So good.
Really, she smells good. That's
She
nice.
got
so
paper,
good.
son. She
She's
better
gotta
smell
smell good.
Yeah,
She gotta
come
smell
on,
good. That's
come
nice
on,
to know.
Come on. Come on, son.
Wait,
Yo.
so there's a record dropping with you and her. Is it her record or is it your record?
It's a hung up
Okay.
Dembow remix.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah, it's really fun.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the thing about Toki that makes you so interesting to me is how casual she is about everything.
Yeah.
Like, you were a couple of years ago in Dominican Republic stuck with having to fuck gross old white Americans, and now you're in the studio with Madonna, and you just seem so poised about all. Like when you told your teacher when you were a kid, "I'm going to make it," you really always knew that you at some point were going to make it.
Yeah, because the mind is the most powerful thing
Talk
that
to
we
him.
have.
Talk that talk.
And when you start to create something in your mind, it becomes your future,
Háblale.
And that's why I had to stop doing all the crazy things I was doing and just sit down and think, and just keep creating this future, So as long as you know the power of your mind and you know how to use it for good, for better, you're gonna do everything that you desire.
Tokischa, ladies and gentlemen.
Gems today from Tokischa.
Yo, it was a pleasure to meet you.
So cool.
So fun hanging out with you.
Yo,
Thank you. We
and
enjoyed
salute
it.
on your journey. You know what I mean? You might blow up and we may never see you again, but it was great to meet you. What is actually in the dog bowl on stage? What do you eat? Is there anything in there or is it all just...
It's water.
Oh, got it.
Because I'm thirsty. It's water. And yeah, it's like one of my favorite parts of the show. My shows are fun. You know, my girl fans are always expecting me to kiss them.
I was gonna say, so I wasn't sure, cause you're like a kissing bandit. Like that's like your thing, kid. Like the Madonna thing is a thing for sure. I mean, it's fucking Madonna, but Tokischa will throw her tongue in your fucking mouth.
Like to a fan? To a fan during a show?
Yeah, because it's that I made this song, like one of my first, my third dembow, I think, in DR was this song with La Perversa and Jailin that talks about how I have this best friend and we kiss, you know? And after I did that song, all my fans are like, oh, I'm going to your show today. I hope you kiss me. You know, I hope you kiss me. And, you know, I'm how am I going to tell? I don't know,
you can't
fuck
disappoint
that.
them. No,
you
can't
know,
disappoint them.
It's my fans. They're literally there to see me, you know?
Right. So I'm
The
going to show
least-
you. You here to
the
see me?
least-
I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
The least I can do is like hug you or kiss you. I love to go to my fans when I'm on the show. Like that's my favorite part. Like we get lit. Like you're here.
We
We're
need it,
gonna
but
get
I'm
lit.
thinking though, moving forward, whoever your manager is, y'all need like an Altoids sponsor or something. Because I'm sure some of these fans, you're like, I kissed you, ma, but fam.
Hit him with the breath saver right
You
after.
could have had a little Listerine
A
tab or
Tokischa
something.
breath saver.
Oh, a little, you should
No,
have
but like I before I go kissing, I'm like, I want to kiss you too. Like you know,
You wanna
it's
make
like,
sure. You
it's
guys-
a-
yeah.
It's
It's got to
like,
be mutual.
It's got to be mutual. You know, it's
Start
not
handing
like,
out breath mints though, because things are getting crazy. I'm just saying. As a, a little merch item, stop
it.
by the merch
That
booth.
would be
It can-
fire, though.
Stop by the merch booth. Make sure your breath is right, just in case I decide.
Yo, that means that everyone would then spend money just to try to have the opportunity to kiss you because they bought the. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
That's what we
The
do up
entire
here at Ebro in the
kit.
morning.
their breath kit before you go to the show.
Yeah, the Tokischa Chicle. You know what I'm saying? Something. Give it up for Tokischa. It's been a
Tokischa.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.